All right, the race to world first is over. And one of my favorite things to do is a DPS warrior post mortem because it's fun. But first and foremost, congratulations to Liquid. Congratulations on the victory, on winning back to back to back the entirety of the War Within. Wonderful job there, guys. Congratulations. However, my God, did Echo play well. Oh my God, watching the 0.3% wipes, both of them, they felt, I don't even know if they were back to back, but those moments felt back to back. Oh my God, what an amazing race to watch. I cannot believe how close it was, how good these players are. And that's not even considering method. At a 313 pull count, far below Echo and Liquid, they also secured their kill the same day Echo did. That's very, very impressive. Previously, a lot of people would definitely say it's a two-horse race. But, man, has the team over at Method really proven and really shown their stuff that they are damn good. And they're really close. So, once again, congratulations to Liquid. Heartbreaking for Echo. Over 18 hours straight, probably with very little sleep, just trying their hearts out. I cannot believe how well they played for so long. Oh, an absolute heartbreaker. But once again, congratulations to everyone. Fantastic race. One of the best viewing experiences of a race to world first I have been able to witness since I've started playing. I started playing back in Castle Nathria. It was incredible. Incredible. So close, man. So close. But that's not why we're here. We're here for the DPS Warrior post-mortem. Where was DPS Warrior seen? DPS Warrior was seen in one place in every single raid. Fractalus. Why? Well, first and foremost, to kill Fractalus, they one-tanked it. And so, by one-tanking Fractalus, they brought in a DPS warrior as the damage buff for the raid, on top of the fact that DPS warrior is actually pretty damn good at Fractalus. And why is that? What makes Fractalus so special for DPS warrior? Alright, enough of the fanfare. It has no damage amps. Fractalus has no damage amps. It is a raw DPS fight, and Warrior performs alongside every other top class in the game when it comes to a no damage amp raw fight. But that is the crux of the issue with Warrior in this fight and the raid design. When you look at the very difficult bosses of this tier, Forge Weaver taking many, many pulls, Nexus King and Demensis taking over 300 pulls for every single guild. There is a very, very important burn phase for every single one of those bosses. And Warrior's static damage profile, I mean, you have Avatar that's plus 20% damage, but Avatar is nowhere near the strength of Breath of Sindragosa, Pillar of Frost Windows, Arcane Surge. Warrior, in what a class that has a static damage profile, what that means is even when they're not in their cooldowns, their fluctuations aren't very different. If you play consistently, even messing up your burst windows, your damage will still be pretty good. Funnily enough, all the specs I kind of really like to play and have fun playing, Beast Mastery Hunter, Outlaw Rogue, and Fury Warrior, and Arms Warrior is kind of the same, are all very, very static in their profiles. And you'll notice none of those are present. They didn't even bring a Hunter to Demensis. It just wasn't as valuable, because the most important thing on this fight that it was built around was the damage burn at the start of P3. This fight was built around a single moment of a lust phase. That damage burn was so good that the boss went from 100% to roughly, I think, about 72-73% for for I think most guilds, or most of these guilds. Now, the classes that you needed to bring have a burst damage profile. So those classes have have high highs and low lows. The amount of damage that they're doing up here made so much of a difference in that burst window that you needed to bring them to kill the boss based on the tuning. A class like Warrior, which is more like here, while still very good, does not bring that level of burst profile that was a necessity to be able to kill this boss. So, with that in mind, is DPS Warrior bad? Does it need buffs? No. Arms is kind of behind, but design-wise, right now it is the king of AoE for Warrior spec. Colossus Arms is the king of AoE for Warrior specs. It is behind on single target. Fury Mountain Thane splits the difference, having good single target and good AoE, and Fury Slayer has the most AoE out of all of them. So the class itself in DPS actually has many different types of static profile, and performs very well with that. Like the actual tuning of Warrior. Yeah. Some of my teeth, sorry. So the actual tuning of Warrior outside of Arms is very, very good. Like, we just don't bring the most important profile in the game that has been the most important profile in the game for that burst window. I mean, you're seeing triple elemental shaman pretty much across the board. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, no, Warrior is very good. It performs very well, does very good damage. It is simply just for the race to world first, specifically, its damage profile does not fit the needs of what you needed to do as a raider to kill the end boss, the most important thing in the fight, or the most important thing in the raid, right? But going forward, there's something very important to note. The fact that these end bosses, while they did require these damage amps, as we gain more gear, as things get slightly nerfed and tuned, as lower specs got brought up, and hopefully Frost Decay gets brought down, basically, I wouldn't worry about anybody who's in a cutting edge guild worry that their class isn't going to be good enough to kill the last boss. Simply put, it will be good enough. You will do enough damage. Every class in the game will be able to kill this boss. But for the race to world first, which how they needed to push things, how they needed everything to line up, how much gear they needed to have to be able to kill this boss with these specs specifically because of what they did, was just, it's what it had to be. Also, I think, is this Boomy? The main difference, I think, in this comp was the Windwalker Monk versus the second Frost Decay. I felt like the second Frost Decay was actually far more consistent. I don't know exactly why they brought the Windwalker Monk. His item level is quite a bit higher. Maybe he high rolled some things and he was just very, very geared. Maybe they needed to touch of death something that was very, very valuable. I'm not sure of the exact reason why they brought it. But it'd be interesting to hear the differences of the compositions being brought, because that was the main difference here, is the Windwalker Monk for the Mensis. But otherwise, man, what a great raid! What a great raid! What a great race! DPS Warrior is honestly totally fine. I wouldn't worry too much about it. And yeah, no, I just kind of like doing these little post-mortems talking about Warrior a little bit. Oh yeah, also, Prot Warrior is an abomination. Dude, I've done almost 6 mil overall with this spec and keys as a tank. Like, oh my god. Oh my god, is Prot Warrior so incredibly strong. I mean, there's no wonder you don't bring DPS Warrior when you can play Prot Warrior. The only time they didn't bring DPS Warrior is when they didn't bring Prot Warrior. Like, that's the only reason they brought it. They needed the buff and Prot wasn't here because they needed to one-tank it. Like, this spec is an abomination and is going to be, or should be, nerfed fairly heavily, in my opinion. It is so crazy. Although I do say that with obviously meaningful bias, as if warrior, if you want a warrior in the raid, obviously I'd rather DPS warrior being the spec you want, right? So I'm obviously biased in that case. Otherwise, yo, what a crazy race. Warrior's fine. That's it. I repeated myself. Okay, bye bye.